Alright, guys, gals, variations thereupon, we gotta talk about bathrooms. Because this is something that's happening now, and frankly, we need to keep talking about it until it's not happening anymore. Just to catch up, get everyone on the same page, there is currently a new trend in state legislation, and it's being called bathroom bills. Though there are variations in all of these bills, a common thread in them is to make it illegal for someone to use a bathroom designated not for the gender they were assigned at birth. Another common thread is to enact this sort of law specifically within schools. The bill that made this a national story was introduced in South Dakota, and that particular bill was recently vetoed by the governor. Thumbs up to Governor Dennis Dugard. Wadsworth approves. But it is not the only bill of its kind. There are a number of bills around the United States. The state where I live, Illinois, currently has a bill in talks, Illinois HB 4474. Now, if the trend continues in the way of South Dakota and these bills keep getting vetoed, then we won't have to talk about this for very much longer, and that'll be a good thing. For now, we have to keep addressing it. And I'm going to say some things that if you've been following this issue, you have probably read before or heard before in dozens of articles and videos. I'm going to say some stuff that I personally haven't seen a lot of people bring up. But the most important thing is that we keep talking about this and keep putting pressure on lawmakers to not allow these bills to go through. Firstly, these are discriminatory laws targeted largely at children. It's a form of discrimination, and it is being used as a tool of so-called deterrence, as if stopping a little trans girl from going in and using the girl's bathroom is going to suddenly not make her trans anymore. That is an offshoot of conversion therapy, the idea that we can change who somebody is just by forcing them into a particular role. That is bad therapy, that is not even therapy, that is bad science. It does not work. And these children are often already the targets of teasing and bullying. And this type of conversion therapy poses that, well, if we can just fix them, then everything will be fine and they won't be teased anymore. It does not work. A recent study, I'll link it in the description below, although I already shared it on the Now's HIR Facebook page, found that, hey, the best way to stop trans children from feeling depressed and anxious and killing themselves is to support them. Second, how are these proposed laws even going to be enforced? Some of the articles I've read take it sort of to the extreme and say, oh, is there going to be someone standing at the door of every bathroom to check your ID and even maybe check what you've got going on down there to make sure you're not trying to trick anybody while you're going to pee? I think that's a good way of taking it to the ridiculous extreme, but when I think about it realistically, I don't believe that would actually happen. Here's what I think would actually happen. Someone who is a supporter of the law and who wants to be on the lookout for sneaky trans people trying to go to the bathroom would report to the police or building security whenever they saw someone who looks trans. Here is a brief list off the top of my head of people who, according to this mindset, might look trans. A man with long hair. A tall woman with broad shoulders. A woman with large hands. A small-framed man with small hands. A woman with visible muscles. A man with dyed hair. A non-binary or genderqueer person who possesses any of these qualities and just is perceived to be in the wrong place. At the core of this way of thinking is a binary-identified, cisgender-focused mindset that prescribes a particular way that a man looks and that a woman looks, and that non-binary people just plain don't exist. These bills, if they were to be passed and enforced, would potentially target and harm anyone who does not fit into a narrow-minded prescription of gender expression. And it shouldn't even really be the main point that anyone could be targeted by these bills. It should really just be enough that trans people, and particularly trans women, who are subject to discrimination at far greater numbers, are going to be harmed by these laws. But it's also just a fact of human nature that if we think something's not going to affect us personally, we are less inclined to give a crap about it. So just, keep in mind the potential reaches of these sorts of laws while putting to the forefront the fact that these are targeted, discriminatory laws that are targeted at children, that will harm, for the most part, trans women and trans women of color, and that they are just bad laws. Well, I had to get that off my chest. I promise next couple of episodes are going to be fun. Next week is going to be my 1-month tea update. The week after that, I'm going to be talking about conventions and cosplay and fun stuff. But like I said, this is important. It is happening now. And at least for now, we should keep talking about it. Like this video if you agree. Subscribe to see what comes up next. I'm Ronan. That's Wadsworth. And this has been Now Z here. Always be changing.